Oy. You know, you would think that after doing this for a couple of days that I would have my shit, well, a couple of weeks I'd have my shit together. Fuck no. All right, they're letting everybody know. Yeah, I'm a little fancy today. Maybe I should do this. Yeah, I need a desk. Hey, boo, I'll add you on in about a couple minutes. Let's just get a couple more people and then we'll get started. Hey, Laura. I just got on here and I was talking about how I've been doing this now for like 2 weeks and I still don't have my shit together. I need to get a desk, y'all. I don't have a desk and I'm on the corner of my, like, I'm looking out my window in my condo and I know people walking past are like, who the fuck is she talking to? None of your motherfucking business. My damn self. So, once I have a desk, though, y'all gonna be like, damn, bitch, she came up. I'm gonna be looking like I'm in a fucking limousine and shit. Just like, with like a light. Computer. Girl, right? Amazon. It was a big old pack. It was like a, I got a pack of like 25 for like $14. 95% of them are broken. It's Amazon for you. But, these ones held strong. These ones are still in the game. You got to be real delicate with them, though. Okay, guys. So we just got on. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and then I'll put everybody in. As you already know, both y'all already know, this is Girl Tell Me Something, and I am your host, Nikki Fuego. Frias. Cutie with a booty, 97. 88. That's the year I was born. Not 97. Hi! We're going to get a couple more. You know what I always crack up whenever I have new people come in and I'm like, hi. I know they're like, fuck, don't call me out. And then they leave. So, New Breed Volleyball Club. Got you. What's up? Oh, gone. See? They're like, don't fucking call me out, bitch. I don't know if you're going to call me out what I just get into. Okay, I'll give it a couple more minutes and then we will get started. Like 3. In the meantime, how we doing? How we feeling? Oh, I gotta do, let me see if it does it. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I get it, kind of. I kind of get it. Anyways, I'm redoing the site again for the 87th time. I don't know if anybody cares, but I'm trying to make it look more professional, but also with like a little bit of flair. So it's like, we should take them seriously. We should take her seriously. But what she writes is funny. That's what I want. It's the feeling I want in my soul. That's what I want them to feel. By Miss Biles. I know. I'm disappointed that she didn't finish, but it was gonna be a killer. Like, I totally get why she prioritized herself. She should have. I can only imagine how much stress that shit is. And it doesn't matter how much anybody says anything. They always gonna be fucking hating. How you gonna be mad at somebody for being too good? I don't know. Haters. Okay, Danitza, I'm gonna add you right now. And then we can get started. Let me do it. Oh, let me do an intro. I met Danitza through Girltellme. She is like the biggest boss dog ever. I got on a phone call with her not too long ago and she was talking about all her, you know, she's kind of an entrepreneur, a writer, and I'm going to say an influencer because she influenced me to like get my ass on my book. But she's just dope. And she wrote her own book. She's published. She has it, and she's been kind of doing like a tour, but she can talk more about that. But I'm going to put her on right now, and this is Danitza. Okay, I'm going to add you. Hold on. Now we wait. Let me turn up my volume. Danitza, did you get it? Hi!
Hi! Okay, I have to explain to you, I am techie challenged, so I am trying to set up this like weird light that connects to the phone, but the phone isn't rotating, so I apologize if it's not working well.
No, it's fine. If you've been to any of my events, you know that my what do you call it? Oh, you're to the side. I can't see you. You're like this.
You can't. Okay, so I'm totally gonna just like hold this now.
Just hold it. Or just lean it against a wall. That's what I do. Okay, it's perfect. Yes. As you
Okay.
know, my Wi-Fi is shit. Okay, I'm running a media company with shit Wi-Fi. So whatever you have to do, totally fine.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
I mean, it's never
That
a
is
time that
funny.
I'm not doing something that people are like, we can't hear you. It froze. And then you're just like, this is awkward. Oh, I got to put this here. See? Anyways, so what's up, girl? How are you? Let's get to talking. I'm so excited that you jumped on this tonight with me because I was just going to come up here and wing it and say, if nobody joined on, then fuck it and keep it moving. So
And
I
that's okay.
appreciate you coming here.
And that's
Huh?
okay. And that's okay. That's okay too. Winging it is okay.
Of course. But I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you being a part of this. You want to tell kind of everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit of about where you came from, or I mean, this is Girl Tell Me Something. So you could tell me whatever you want to tell me. We're here for it. So I want to just learn more about you. I know a little bit about you, but people that are going to see this video, people who are, going to, and they want to know who you are. So the floor is all yours.
Okay. So I am Danitza Borges. I am a clinical sexologist, so I deal with a lot of sexual trauma victims. And I have a really way out story. I come from a sexual domestic violence background, grew up being,
No.
yeah,
Is that me or you?
and a love-hate relationship. I was raised by my grandparents. And
Hold
also,
on. You cut out for like a second. You cut out for like a second.
okay, I was raised by my grandparents and had two older brothers that, for lack of a better word, didn't have any family guidance as well. And it's pretty sad when you don't have the family guidance because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And not to say that all the families are the best in the world. We all have our goods and bads with family. But when you don't have family, you don't have role models, and you don't have the discipline and the guidance, it's a recipe pretty much kind of like for disaster.
Yeah.
And so, and then you mix that in with puberty and everything else that goes with it. So I come from that type of background, and then spending 11 years in law enforcement, and then deciding to leave there because I too had my own son, and dabbling in different careers, and now ready to launch even another career on 9/11. So it's exciting times. Definitely exciting times. Ah, thank
Okay.
you,
I
Flavia.
I want to hear more about, you know, everything. I want to hear about everything new. I'm assuming you're talking about the thing that we talked about earlier.
Which part? We talked a lot.
The app. Are you talking about the app or are you talking about something else?
We can talk about the app as well.
No,
We
it's
can
totally
talk.
up to you. It's totally up to you. But I want to just, I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women, especially that are with Girl Tell Me, that are a part of the community that kind of have been through and I hate to say it because even just like taking in my own perspective of like the people in my life, the women in my life, have all faced or have dealt with some form of sexual trauma or physical trauma. Um, Maybe kind of explain how your process was of dealing with those things, or maybe kind of go through like, when you started to notice that these were like, that it wasn't right. Like, stories will kind of happen where it's like you're younger and then there's a moment where I hit you when you're like, this is really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
How did you start to go through the process of like dealing with that?
I think my book is called Left Vulnerable, and usually sexual trauma victims are left that way. We're a little bit more open to other people's abuses. Either we're trying to gain love, gain affection, fill the void, win somebody over, be the perfectionist, whatever that may be. We're always chasing the what's missing ball.
Yeah.
There's something missing. There's something that's going to validate me. And part of that is the acceptance of that it happened to you. It actually happened through you, not to you. It happened through you. It didn't have it's something that you went through, and it continued going.
Yeah.
It's not something that just stops within you. You have to kind of continuously move forward.
I
It's
think
how you adjust it.
I think that is so important what you just said, because I don't think a lot of people, even people who are dealing with it, really understand that it doesn't happen to you, it happens through you.
Mhm.
That is fucking deep. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I just had to,
Wow.
you know what I mean? Because you just like, girl, you know, I'm always getting nuggets. You know, I'm always getting people saying shit. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I just never thought about it like that. It doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. And you're right. It does keep going after, you know, after you. I hate to say it, but it keeps going after you. So, okay, sorry. I just had to keep going
It's
with that.
okay. Please do. I love the conversation. This is a conversation. Um, when things happen to you, they stop with you. And when they stop with you, you carry it, whether it's hurt, pain, frustration, animosity. But when it happens through you, you learn to release it. And you learn to say, okay, what did I learn from this situation? What can I learn from it? Why is it that this happened to me at that moment in time? And how do I continuously let it go? And some people don't know how to let it go. They get fixated and they get stuck. And
Yeah.
that's when you're going to cause your psyche the most damage, is when you get stuck.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah.
so when the, like an exercise, when it happens through you, it's, yes, it happened. But if you get fixated and you get stuck, then you lose out on all these wonderful opportunities if you would have allowed it to continue on. When we lose out on opportunities, we lose out on friendships, we lose out in family relationships, we lose out because we're so inclined to hold on to the pain and hold on to the hurt that we don't
Yeah.
understand we're not supposed to keep it. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to keep pain or fear or hurt, any of that.
No, I think also too, it's a good point that you said, because when we think it happens to us, at a certain point, we justify it with we're flawed, right?
Right,
We
right.
justify it like, well, it happened to me, so there's a reason why it happened to me. Instead of looking at it as like, unfortunately, you were just put, or you were born into, or you were put in a circumstance that made this trauma happen through you instead of specifically because of who you are. And I think that's, I mean, for like dealing with any form of trauma, I think that's beneficial, just because like, shit, I'm speechless. That was good. It didn't happen to you, it happened through you. Amanda just got on, that's my homegirl. But Amanda, it didn't happen to you, it happened through you. We getting deep. Okay, so kind of let me know, or kind of go through a little bit more of your process, right? Because yes, understanding and acknowledging it didn't happen to you, but it happened through you. Like, what do you do after that? How did you process? What was your next steps? Or
I'm a very forgiving, empathetic person.
really?
And I've always been the person who's, okay, I have to put myself in the other person's shoes. Like, why did this happen? And in my situation, I can't speak for everyone, but in my situation, it was, here's a 15-year-old boy going through puberty with no male guidance, with no male mentor. And he was expected to have to deal with it all on his own. And my brother was a very good-looking guy. He looked like kind of like a cross between, he was a very Richard Gere looking, just very handsome man. And I really think that he didn't understand his hormonals himself. And here was this little sister, 10 years his junior, and she was accessible. And I was close to him and I was safe for him. Now, as his little sister, we shared everything, even though he was my perpetrator for, oh my gosh, at least 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, for 12 years. It started at the age of 5 and went until 17. Um,
Wow.
so even though he was my perpetrator for all those years, you have to kind of understand that there was so much going on. I was growing up. I was going through puberty. I was asking all these very difficult questions. He was growing up. He was getting girlfriends. He was going through puberty. There was so much going on. And my grandmother, who raised us, um, took on a job that she wasn't equipped for.
Wow.
And so when you have all of those factors and you don't have the guidance again and the family again and the love and support, you you will act out, whether it be myself or my brother. But in the gist of it all, my brother was also our sole provider. He was the worker. He was bringing in money. We were living off of Social Security and my grandmother's income. And
Wow.
when your brother shows you love in different ways and pain in certain ways, we kind of justify it and relate to it. I will tell you, if you ask me, do you hate your brother? I will say no. And most people do not understand that answer. I've had so many speaking engagements. May I give you an example?
Of course, girl. This girl, tell me something. Tell me everything.
I was at a speaking engagement in front of college students, and there was about 500 people in the audience, and the librarian who purposely bought a book for the library so the students could read it and be accessible to it, stood up at the end of the speech and was so upset with me and said, "Why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you reach out? Um, how can you be so forgiving?" And I actually said to her, "Okay, I'm going to draw out a calendar, and I want you to tell me the day you want me to stop hating my brother. Pick a date and tell me what day, and I'm going to circle it. And until that day, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to be fatigued and anxious, and I'm going to have triggers.
Yeah.
But once we get to that date, it's all going to stop because I'm not going to live with this. I'm not going to let it define who I am as a person." And
Yeah.
I think so many times, sometimes people see this as a medal of honor that you've been through things, and it's great. You have. We've all had our dose, whether it's sexual assault or domestic or family members yelling at you. It could be the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing. But if we learn to put it away for the best interest of ourselves and our psyche, you will find that more and more people will meet their maximum potential. Because
Yeah.
your brain can't think of two things at the same time. It's impossible.
No.
So if you're walking throughout your day and your sexual assault or your misgivings or your pain comes into your brain, that's an opportunity that you're missing to reach your maximum potential.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of like put it away. Learn to, yes, it happened, but that's just a very small, minute part of my life. Very small. Now people would say, well, that happened to you for 12 years. I'm like, you're right, but I raised a son for 18. That was so much better.
So, yes, that is so true. And I think that even just talking about forgiveness, I think the reason why, now let me tell you, girl, what I went through was like story, okay? But I would even tell people too that I forgive a person who hurt me deeply. And people can't
Mhm.
fathom shit. And I would
Right.
explain to them that like forgiveness is you. Forgiveness is you being able to accept it and conquer it and to over kind of like get over it because
Right.
basically whoever the person is, I know the fucker that hurt me, he out there someone else doing whatever. So for me I'm like, the hurt will of course stay with you, but the forgiveness just allows you to move on so much faster or whenever your process starts, because if you don't, it's just going to weigh you down for the rest of your life.
Oh, it
It's
does.
it's so and I can't even imagine. So I completely understand you getting to a point of being like, I just can't live my life angry consistently. I can't live
Mhm.
my life in a place where I am just mad and hurt all the time. you know?
Plus, I think you have this person that hurt you. Did you also have good times with this individual?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. And so if you had good times, what you're saying to your psyche is the bad times are more important for you to remember than the good.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
really,
you're telling your psyche. And so I refuse for my psyche to tell me that. I'll give you a scenario. Um, I was, we were raised very, very poor. And I was up to win Miss San Diego. Okay. I had tried out for Miss San Diego, not because I knew anything about pageantry. It's just because I needed the damn money for my scholarship to go off to college. That's the only
okay.
reason I did it. Okay.
Okay,
I
Miss
had
San Diego, we got a celebrity.
no, it wasn't even a celebrity. It was hysterical. It was the biggest joke known to mankind. I had no idea what I was doing. And it, my brother, I literally washed windows for a bridal company for a month and a half so I could pay for a dress. And
Wow.
I was washing windows, and I I was buying literally a used evening gown off the rack. And there had been a beautiful evening gown in the front of the window, but there was no way we were going to afford it.
Right.
And the day of the pageantry, I was doing my own makeup. I was getting myself dressed. There was no help. There was no guidance, nothing. Next thing I know, I opened up this really large box, and that dress that was in the window was in that box. And my brother said, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this right. And he walked out of the room. And that was such an emotional, beautiful memory for me.
Yeah.
So when I think about him, I don't think about him as only being this person who molested me, but also he was the person who put food on the table, and he was the person who also bought me that evening gown and taught me, to have a backbone, and taught me a lot about business. And do I know that he regrets what he did? Oh yeah. There is something in a person's eyes. You can see it.
Yeah.
And I think part of the process is also learning how to forgive. It's not a muscle everybody uses on a daily. We're
Hell
so
no.
No, it's a muscle that it's a skill set, and we have to kind of need to move forward in order and build that muscle in order to allow really wonderful opportunities to enter our lives.
Yeah. Amen to that. It is a muscle, like you said. You have to use it or you lose it. And the
Right.
more stronger it gets and the easier it is for you to move about your life in a least stressful way, you know? Okay, so I just want to know because I'm nosy and I'm assuming other people want to know. Do you still have a relationship with your brother? Is this something that did you guys have that conversation, or was it one of those things that like we just don't talk about it? Um, where is the standing of your relationship now?
My brother and I haven't seen each other for a very long time. Our lives kind of went in different directions just because the way we were raised and who we were raised by. I went off to college and actually never went back. Um, I will tell you, my brother has his own family. He went through, he went through some of his own heartache. The last time I saw my brother was at my grandmother's funeral, and it was really, really interesting. I personally wasn't invited to the funeral, even though this is the woman who raised me, but I found out about it and went to the funeral, and I could see my family all around the gravesite, and I was much at a distance. But it's one of those days where you just kind of get dressed up because if you're going to do this, you're going to do it right again. So I was all in black and looking really good, and I was in my mid-20s at the time. And I'm actually 50 now, so that should tell you how long it's been.
Wow.
Yeah. And my mom and her boyfriend was with was around the gravesite. And at the end of the ceremony, my brother walks over to me and he hugs me and he says to me, "I didn't think you had it in you." And we both turned around and we looked at my mom, who didn't raise us. And he says, don't do it. She's not worth it. And I said, I know. And I hugged my brother and I told him I loved him.
Wow.
And he said the same.
Wow.
And he walked away because the common denominator was that my mom wasn't there.
Mm.
And that was hard. You know, that
Oh,
was hard. Yeah, that was hard to admit that that your parent, the person who's supposed to love and protect you, both failed both of us.
yeah.
And that was hard for both of us to swallow
Do
because
you
the
think,
person.
do you think that maybe that
Mhm.
situation was kind of like a, not a goodbye, but it was like an acknowledgement of things to say? Or would you say that it was one of those situations where like you both just knew about the trauma that you both have faced?
Yes,
And
and
yeah,
respected each other for it.
yeah. I can only imagine
Some,
that that is probably such a burden that he carries that it's I mean, you know, it's something like a death, you know what I mean? Like once you deal with that shit and you're like, you don't forget it.
no, you don't.
You,
And I think, part of my job, I'm not here on this planet to make people suffer. That's not my role here. I truly believe I'm not here to make people feel bad about themselves or say something derogative. I mean, we all have our bad days. I get it. We all can be very cruel at times. But my role on this planet is not to drag things out and hurt each other. And that also puts my brother in that realm, in that perspective. You know,
yeah.
I hope and I pray that he has moved on from it too. It's too long to carry something like that. It's too long.
Yeah. I don't know. I also yeah, wow. So powerful. I mean, I just, if you saw him again, I mean,
Oh yeah.
do you anticipate that? Do you think you'll ever see him again? Do you think you guys
Oh
will ever?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My
Wow.
my grandmother, that my brother was my grandmother's favorite child. We say we don't have favorites, but yeah, we do. It's just the way it is. It's life.
Yeah.
And and that was my grandmother's favorite child. And none of us were raised by parents. We were raised by a grandmother who was too old to understand. And she had already raised her kids. She didn't need us, but my mom gave us to her, and she did the best she could with what she had.
Yeah.
And I don't wish ill on my brother at all. Why would I?
Yeah.
He has his own scars, even scars before probably I was born, of
Wow.
not being wanted by my mom or not being taken seriously or having to be 15 years old and having to go get a part-time job because my mom just kind of pawned us on my grandmother. So, he has his own scars that I'm not a part of.
That's true.
Who am I to say that his scars are any less than mine?
Damn. Damn, Denise. Girl, you got a bitch in her feelings on a 7:30 on a Tuesday night. Goodness. I mean, you know, I know that some people here are very new to meeting you. I know we only talked on the phone once, but like, you know, just to kind of turn it around because your story is so important and you wrote this book. But like you really are, and I know you probably hear this shit all the time, but you're fucking inspiring and
Ah,
you're
thank you.
broad, you're smart, and you're just like, I don't know if someone told you this today, but you're fucking dope. And
Ah, thank
like
you.
even you just having these conversations and being open and just like so forgiving, it's just like it's something that I mean, I know I'm on my journey of forgiveness and like, you know, I've already been through all that shit, and I understand the benefits of forgiveness, but like, girl, you doing the damn thing. because it really is inspiring, and it's so beautiful to hear somebody have so much courage and soul about them. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. That's very kind. Thank you.
If nobody told you today, girl, we appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Think, this has been amazing because it's like we're already 30 minutes in, and I'm like, fuck, I want to be on this bitch for like 3 hours, just like. But I want to, there are people on here. We are a writing page, so I wanted you to kind of maybe talk about like writing about grief and how did you go about writing your book? I hate that question, but I feel like let me read how did you ever want to write a book? What made you write about grief? What made you write about being vulnerable? Why did you make this?
There was two factors. I think there comes a time in your life, maybe because I'm older than probably your audience and you, much older, but I think there comes a time in your life where it's just too much to carry, and you realize that it's not beneficial to you, so you need to do something about it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you learn it sooner than later. Um, I think on the other side of it was, we're so, as our society, we're so quick to think that anger and resentment and I got over on her or the meanness is something to be celebrated. Like, we have movies that say Mean Girls, or we have movies that about revenge or stalking, and it wasn't conducive to the life I live. And I
Yeah,
thought I just can't. I it, we're- okay. I'm speaking from personal experience.
of course.
My son and I have this ongoing joke, and I always tell him, I say to him, I said, why is your gender doing so much better than ours in regards to communication? And he says, Mom, you get together with a group of women and you spend 30 minutes being very catty and measuring each other up. And we get together with a group of guys and we start networking right out of the gate. And I said, you're right. I said, you're kind of right. I've been in both sides of that. I understand. He said, Mom, if you could just get these females to be forgiving and walk in there with pure hearts, you guys would do so much better all the way around. And I understood that because the person, even though my brother was my predator and my molester, I got to tell you, it was more my mom that I had to forgive.
Wow.
hmm I had to forgive her more, and I had to forgive other females, because what would happen is I would see other females doing things that were similar to my mom, and they were triggers for me. And I thought, ooh, okay, she's not part of my tribe. And I would write off that female in a minute, like that. I would just, you're out of here. You're not my tribe. And I had to be patient and I had to be understanding, even though I didn't want to be. And I had to live out of my comfort zone and think, okay, why is she behaving that way? Why am I feeling this way towards this individual?
Yeah.
And I realized I had to step out of the comfort zone. And then I said, okay, I'm not seeing a lot of books about incest. I'm not seeing a lot of books that are saying you can move past this. I'm seeing woe's me and this happened to me and I'm upset about this whole situation, but I'm not seeing this individual move forward. I'm seeing this individual condemn the perpetrator, which is rightfully so. I understand you're in a lot of pain, you're in a lot of hurt. But at the end of the evening, the perpetrator is still gone and you're still left with your psyche. So what are you doing for you? That's the conversations I wanted to have, like the one we're having today. What are we doing for ourselves? What are we doing as a group of women? My goal is one day is to have a bunch of group of women over to my house, having a lot of cheese and crackers and wine and some really good food, and look at that individual across the table and say, look, I'm not threatened by you. In fact, I adore you. But what left you vulnerable?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's true. I think Now, with all the men talking in the meeting, I will tell you, being as the only woman in a group of only
Mhm.
other,
Mhm.
those motherfuckers just try to talk louder than each other, and then the last one, like, okay, you got the biggest dick. Can I talk now?
Right?
No, but I totally understand what you're saying. I think a lot of people, I mean, you would not believe even just um, doing this platform. I have so many women that are like, you're so helpful and you're nice. And I'm like, duh, bitch, I'm trying to put everybody on because
Right.
that's how we work so much better together than against each other. And I
Very
think
much
that's
so.
what you're doing. And I think even you writing a book, like you said, you see a lot of just like, this happened to me and this is what it is. But there aren't as many books that are like, this happened to me, but let me tell you all the other dope shit I'm doing. And by my book, I can do even more shit. You know what I mean? So you wanted to be the change that you seek, and it's appreciated and respected. And I will definitely come to your house for wine and dinner because I like all of those, and I love just being around women who are so independent, so strong, and so just own they shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Exactly.
I think sometimes too it's the societal narrative, like just if I mean, listen, as all women, we've all been in a bathroom when we're drunk as hell and everybody's like, I love you, I fucking love your shoes, you're so dope. I think sometimes from a societal perspective it's just the assumption that women don't get along.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, the bitches are, oh, you guys all on your period, oh no, oh, what's going on here, you know. And I think
Hmm.
if we just sat back and we're like, go to those bathrooms after midnight and see how we support each other,
Right?
like there is so much more of that. So I think what you're doing is kind of also shedding light on like, yeah, like we can be in the same room and we can all be in our own right the boss ass bitches that we know we are. So
Right, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, the goal is to have everybody bring like their business cards, leave your name brand bags at the door. Nobody wants to see whatever handbag you're wearing. I don't care about your shoes. Actually, my dress code is throw a t-shirt on and a pair of jeans and leave your business cards. And at the end of the night, everybody should know each other and everybody should be promoting each other
I love it.
because it's good juju. It's
Oh,
just really good juju.
just melting in good juju. All hang out that we're all in the same cycle. That's the kind of shit you know what I mean? Where I'm like, what's up, period sisters? That might be a little weird, but I'm just like I totally love that. Okay, so because we could talk about all of this stuff. But tell me what you got going on. Everybody know like the things you're working on. Let me, we have your book and talking to me about doing tours and like all those kind of things, which I'm gonna hit you up as soon as I finally finish mine. But
You have to.
uh, I know I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But what are things that are happening for you? What are things that are coming to fruition, or like, when we talked on the phone, we're such a manifester. And I remember I got off the phone, I was like, she got the same energy as me and I love it. What the fuck are you doing? Finish your book, get the shit done. And I'm like, yes, you're right about that. Danitza, what are things that are going on with you? What is next for you? What are you, I mean, just anything. What are your dreams? Like, I want to know.
Well, the dream. Okay. Well, right now I have F Word Project. I'm still doing therapy, but it's been kind of slow, but I am not against slowness.
Okay.
I'm liking it because I'm doing other things. Um, F Word Project has been a lot of fun.
Yes,
Um,
explain, express, tell everybody go follow F Word Project. I'll put it in the, not in the comments because I don't know how to do that shit, but I will promote it. You'll see it in all the other.
thank you. Thank
So
you. F Word Project is an app that I originated in a website where you share your forgiveness stories or your lack of forgiveness. So you can share where you forgave, how you can't forgive, how you saw something that really made you think of forgiveness. We're doing a lot of quotes right now because COVID hit and it was really difficult to interview people. But we've had individuals regarding family traumas and rape and people dying and just all types of forgiveness, sibling rivalries, estrangement from families, and just really passionate. We had an altar boy who was molested by a priest.
Wow.
Yeah, we've just had a wide variety. And again, the goal for F Word Project is the more we talk about forgiveness, the more inclined we'll be to be forgiving and
Yeah.
be able to look past. It's the muscle building. And and the numbers have grown slowly. COVID was a really interesting time. I think right now there's a lot of self-forgiveness. I heard you mention, the Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Um, that's going to be a toughie for her. That whole
Oh,
self-forgiveness, it's going to be tough because,
yeah.
walking away from an Olympics to deal with your mental trauma, in the back of your head, you're going to have some self-reflecting and some self-questions. And we all do that. We second guess ourselves. We second guess our decisions. We have our regrets. And sometimes just voicing it and being able to put it out there makes it all better. Makes it all better. You're going to have people who critique you. You're going to have people that say harsh things to you. As you get bigger and better, you have haters. And what do you do for your own self-protection, your self-kindness? And sometimes you have to be very forgiving of what other people are saying. You have to learn how to give a sincere apology. Oh my God. It's so important. Sincerity will like propel you. When it comes across insincere, it'll kill your career. I mean, you see that a lot in the celebrity world.
Oh, I mean, most definitely. I think sincerity is, there's so many things you need, but sincerity is one that if you do master, your life is guaranteed to be easier,
Right.
right? Because that's what we all want. We all want to see a level of realism. We want to make sure that your feelings are legit. Do you give a fuck if I'm bothered? Do you give a fuck? Do you really care? Are your words as meaningful as you say? So I
Right.
think,
I mean,
yeah,
it's important. Like if you're going to give an apology and you're going to waste the breath, make it sincere. If anything, make it sincere. It's an apology is something personal. People say, well, it wasn't personal. You darn right it is. If you're giving an apology, that's 100% personal. Make
yeah,
it personal. Make it legit. Make it sincere. Make it authentic.
yeah.
Because people will see right through it, and it's worse for you if it doesn't come across 100%.
I also think it's pretty amazing that, we're talking about forgiveness. And I think that that's kind of like the theme of today's talk, because of how important it is. But it's cool how, you deal with your own forgiveness and promote that. And then, like we were saying before, being the change that you seek, right? Like you've started a website, a company, a blog, you're starting all these things that are allowing people to have a space of forgiveness, even if they struggle. Because even if people are writing pieces that are like, fuck them, I don't give a fuck, I don't care, you know what I mean? It's not what I want to be. Like, I'm not a forgiving person. You're still allowing that vessel to be something that maybe they leave the site with something different. Maybe they leave it with, well, if they can forgive, maybe I can forgive.
Exactly. And that seems to be the energy behind it. If somebody else can forgive for something so big, I'm holding on to something so minute, maybe I should be practicing it a little more. May I give you an example?
Of course.
So, about a year ago, I was being naughty. I'm gonna own it. Okay, I was driving and I picked up my phone. I wasn't text messaging, but I picked up my phone because I was going to change the song. So I was swiping, right, to change the song. And there was a gentleman behind me, and he pulled up next to me, and he just went off on me. Just literally went off. Get off your effing cell phone. Get this and do this. I mean, he's just wailing to the point where a construction crew was right next to me, right behind me, and pulled over and says, "Are you okay? Do we need to pull him over? Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And I was a little bit anxious, I guess
Yeah.
you could say. And he took off on his merry way, and the construction crew went on their merry way. And I could have reacted in two ways. I could have been yelling and screaming and right back at him, right? But before I did that, I actually had like some mental clarity, and I thought, okay, he got so mad at me for that. What did I do to trigger him? Did he lose somebody because someone was text messaging? Did he get into a car accident because someone was text messaging? Why did he react so volatile? What did I trigger in him for him to behave that way? And I couldn't be mad at him anymore. I couldn't be upset. I'm like, naughty for me that I risked someone's life, and naughty for me that I triggered him, because that wasn't my intention.
Yeah. I think too, when you kind of take it back to a basic level of understanding people's reactions
Mm-hmm.
and making them more human, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he could have just been having a really shitty fucking day.
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly.
And maybe the way that he did it, hella fucking wrong, and he shouldn't have yelled at me and did all that dumb shit. But when we put people at more of a human level, it's a lot easier for us to forgive. It's a lot easier for us to understand, like, ain't nobody perfect.
No, no,
You
no.
know,
I'll give you a story from one of my clients that we're going to post in the next couple of months, or actually the next couple of weeks. Two girls go out to a bar. They're in New York, having a good old time, and guy comes up and he's belligerent and saying some sexual derogative things to them, and they're kind of blowing him off. And he got extremely upset with one of them because she wasn't giving him the time of day. And
so fucking scary. Okay?
right,
So fucking scary.
right, very scary, very scary. It could have went really bad, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
second girl,
Sorry, I don't have a
walked,
desk. I'm a
it's
mess.
okay. Uh, the second girl goes right up to him, and I was so proud of her. She says, "Look, I don't know why you're acting this way, and I really, really don't know who hurt you, but I'm really sorry she did, and I hope it gets better for you." De-escalated that situation like nobody's business.
Wow.
He actually got really teary-eyed, picked up his tab, picked up their tab, and said, "I am so sorry," and walked away. Because she broke it down to humanity.
Yeah.
People don't necessarily lash out in anger just to lash out. It's usually anger that was triggered from a fear. And if you can reduce that fear to a humane level, you're priceless.
I
You're
think
spot on priceless.
it's interesting too because, like I said, has been very a different one. But just to see people's reaction from forgiving, like I
Mhm.
even have where I'll just be like, it's fine. Like it's not that big of a deal for something, that somebody would get more upset about.
Mhm.
And I always have to reiterate to my family and my friends, like forgiveness is you. Having patience, empathy is you. And once you kind of semi-master that or have an idea about it, your life just, it's like a calm,
Mhm.
like a peace. It's like I don't know. It just changes everything. It
I,
really does.
yeah. I tell my friends and family, no one disrupts my peace.
Amen, sister.
No one disrupts my peace. If you're disrupting my peace, we have a problem. No one
Most,
disrupts my peace. Like
yeah.
it's okay we have a bad day, and it's okay we say mean things to each other because we're having a bad day and we're frustrated. But no one disrupts my peace. Just like um, good friends, really true good friends, will call you, and they may be going through something, but they will ask you, they'll say, hey, Nikki, do you have the energy to hear this right now? I mean, do you have the bandwidth to hear this? Because what I'm going to tell you is affecting me and not affecting you. Do you have it in you to deal with this right now? And if you don't, that's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
It's really important how we treat each other's psyche and treat each other's mental space.
Most definitely.
Because we all, there's no such thing as too much giving or receiving too much love in this world. There's no such thing.
Damn.
So if you come from a place of love and you come from a place of passion and kindness and empathy, you're golden. Because I'll tell you, majority of the people don't.
I know. But I also have noticed that through other people. Because I'll be cool as a fucking cucumber, and then people will be just so mad. And I'm like, but does it really matter? Is it something that we're going to carry on for the rest of our lives? Is it really something that we need to hold on to? And, you can kind of see growth and progress through other people.
Right.
So I do think that's crazy.
I think that when people kind of go off, like I've been in situations, like sometimes people don't like how calm I am. And it's fun.
I could take a nap right here. I could fucking.
Because I'm not going to fight with you over the smallest of things, but I've been in situations where, I'm so calm and people will get mad, and I'm like, look, I don't know why you're hurting, but when you want to talk about it, just let me know I'm here. There's no need for all this anger. Just let me know why you're hurting.
Yeah.
And it usually de-escalates the situation pretty quickly because you're getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah. I think the one thing I need to work on is my delivery, because I'm like, you know how like you was the girls at the bar when they were like, I don't know who hurt you, but I'm sorry for them. I was like, who the fuck hurt you? And he was like, it. And then the conversation would be differently. But I'm just saying that your delivery, God, it needs, girl, like you need to get a book tape. I don't know if you have I don't know if you have Be Vulnerable on tape, but you need to make that a fucking podcast ASAP, because your confidence, the way you express things, it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Talked about Love Vulnerable being a podcast, but I've got, my baby on the plate right now, and it's ready to launch in a month and a half. So I'm excited about that.
Girl, you busy. You are.
Yeah, I'm really busy. I'm excited.
So, one thing that I'm starting to do when I finish these things, because we only got 7 minutes,
okay.
I want to know what is a nugget or something that you can give the people who are watching, something that they can leave. I mean, listen, you've given multiple nuggets, but what is something in your process that you've told yourself or that you've learned or someone has said to you that you still carry for today, and it's kind of helped you exponentially towards your own process of forgiveness and where you are today?
The motto is be kind to yourself. Always. It's never about just a little bit, just on certain occasions. It's all the time. It's be kind to yourself. You don't have to compete with other people. You don't have to finish the race like other people. You don't have to finish the Olympics like other people. You just have to do you. But in the process of doing you is to be kind to yourself in the knowing how you're doing you. People are going to critique you. People are going to measure you. People are going to say some of the hateful things, some of the most loving things. And you have to be kind to yourself in the midst of all of it. You have to learn to take those really great moments, the moments where you're like, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how this came about. And cherish them. And take those really bad moments and also cherish them and go, okay, I failed at this. I didn't learn from this. it didn't go the way I expected, but what's the lesson here? And what can I take from it? And how can I be kind to myself in the process? How can
Mm,
I do it better next time? How can I reflect on it? How can I? How can I? How can I be better? Because, we all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be better. We all want to be successful in our own right. We're all doing the same thing. When I, I once had a teenage client, and he said, Dr. Borges, I'm not as popular as I want to be in this group of friends. And I said, okay, do you want me to tell you how you can be overly popular in one day? And he said, yes. I said, go to the guy who is like the alpha in the group and say something to him that you admire. Like maybe he had a bad day, maybe something's happening in his family, and you go to him and say, I really admired how you did that. Holy cow. Because you just measured him as a person,
yeah.
and you made him feel seen and recognized. And who doesn't want to be seen? And who doesn't want to be recognized? We all do. That's why social media, that's why Instagram, that's why everybody, look at us. We're somebody's 5 people, 7 people, a million people could be seeing us right now. Who knows? Because
Yeah.
everybody wants to be seen. And you're kind to yourself in the process. You're not always going to be seen in the greatest of light. You're not always going to be seen in the worst of light. But you're going to be kind to yourself in everything you do.
Damn. That shit's hard.
You think?
It's so hard. I feel like I'm in that process now of having to remind myself to be kind. And that's why I think that is so special, at least for me to like in this moment, it's special because I have not been kind to myself for like a month.
Why?
I just get imposter syndrome. Girltellme is not exactly where I want it to be. And I understand it's a process and I'm learning to enjoy the slow. But, I just want to make the biggest difference. Unfortunately, we are successfulness based off time instead of the people that we're reaching. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay, I'm going to give you a challenge. Can I give you a challenge?
I love it.
I'm going to give you a challenge. Okay. So I'm assuming, okay, I don't know how this works, but is there like, say, a couple of organizations that you wish you would have already liaisoned with to get your numbers higher? Or
Yes.
okay, so there's about what, 4 or 5 groups?
Shit. I mean, there's like 8, but
Okay. Ooh, even better. Good.
I'm,
It's a good enough challenge.
I'm annoying the shit out. They're ignoring my shit to a point where I'm texting them like they're my friend. I'm like, girl, what's up? Where you been at? And she's like, check, please.
Okay. Okay. Are you allowed to give me one of the groups? Are you allowed to say their names?
So right now we're looking for speakers. So I've been pitching the Female Lead, which is a huge like social media platform that promotes women, talks about women. So I've been like shooting my shot with them.
Okay. How many people do they follow? How many people?
Like millions.
Okay. And who runs the organization?
Oh shit, I don't know her name. It's a white woman, but I know her name. Semi.
Okay. And she is contacted how?
I hit her up through Twitter and then I also hit her up through LinkedIn.
Okay. So if you hit her up through LinkedIn, then she has a physical space, like she works for an organization, a company.
Yeah,
You have, and so she would have a mailing address, right?
that's true.
So you want to be vulnerable with me?
Yeah, let's get butt naked.
Okay. But naked is you're going to take pen to paper. You're not
Okay.
going to text her. You're going to do pen to paper, and you're going to say, I know I keep reaching out to you, but these are the reasons why I keep reaching out to you.
Mm.
Because I want to make a difference. I want my numbers to go up. I want to be one of these women that you are saying is in your audience. I
Wow.
want, I want to be this. Help me into achieving your platform. Help me.
Okay, that's good.
And
That,
reach out. You took pen to paper. You took time. She has to read that letter. How could you possibly say no to that? You
that's
can't.
true.
You
I
can't.
know.
You can't say no to that. It's easy to do an email. It's easy to do something flashy, but pen to paper and being vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Take vulnerability and use it in your best interest. Who cares? We're all in the same race. Be kind to yourself. And being kind to yourself is, I'm going to go for this. And I may fall on my face, but I'm going to still do this. And at the end of the day, I'm going to love on me because I at least attempted.
Fuck, Danitza, girl. Okay, listen. Okay, sensei. Okay, girl. Listen,
No, you have to do this.
I could seriously, I want to, let's schedule a call after this because I want us to talk because you are just so fucking dope. I want us to get off though because I know people are going to be like, okay, bitch, I gotta go. But this has been an amazing hour. It was so unexpected,
Thank you. It's my
so
pleasure.
necessary and so needed. And you are so important and you are so amazing and vital. And I appreciate that our interwebs, our universe has crossed paths. And I think it's such a gift. I think tonight you gave me such a gift. I think that you gave everybody who was in and out on this thing such a gift.
Thank
Um,
you.
and until we meet again, plug your book.
Definitely.
Plug your book. Tell people
Oh,
how to get it, and then we'll do something after. But please let everybody know where they can learn more about you, learn about your book, learn about everything.
um, Left Vulnerable is on Kindle and Amazon. It's gotten really great reviews. If you do read it, I ask that you give a good review, but an honest review, because we all learn from everything. We all learn. Left Vulnerable has been out for 2 years now, and it's doing well. It's been able to propel me to speaking engagements as well as book openings and things of that. And Sexual Assault Month is really big in April for me, so it's always a good thing. I'm launching a new company on 9/11, Name a List, which is the baby. That's my pride and joy, and I'm hopefully be able to discuss that at a different time frame on Girltellme. That would be amazing.
Or side note, I feel like such a dickhead because I've been saying be vulnerable. I'm an asshole and I'm sorry.
Oh
I
no,
meant
it's okay.
love
Left,
vulnerable. Forgive me. Sorry.
because that's how we're all left. Okay.
I'm
In
just
the
I'm being vulnerable about be vulnerable, aka love vulnerable. So yes.
But
Yes,
you
you
need
will
to be
be
vulnerable. That's your challenge. Be vulnerable. Remember, utilize.
vulnerable, but
Okay, may I leave you with one last note?
please.
Okay. Um, all the pain that we've ever felt, the rejection, the hurt, the pain, the denial, whatever we want to call it, everything, sweetheart, those are our tools to go and take on the world.
Mm-hmm.
The kudos, the compliments, all that, that's the fluffy part. That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
That can come to us from just anybody. But the hurt, the struggle, the denial, the pain, the crying on the floor, heartache, the starving in your belly that builds you because holy cow, what are you going to eat tomorrow? All of those things are the reasons why you get up and do it 10 times better tomorrow. That you have no fear factor. There is no fear here. You're going to write all these 8 companies. You're going to figure out who you need to speak with, and you're just going to go for it and say,
Um,
I need your help. And help me so I can best help you eventually in the future, because I'm going to be one of your go-to people.
yeah.
Don't underestimate me. Help me. You can't say no to that. You just can't. I couldn't. If someone came to me and told me that, I'd be like, what can I do for you?
Wow. Fuck, that's good.
Yay.
That's you're amazing. I don't know how to say it enough.
Mm,
Do this again. And
definitely.
Thank you so much for being a
It's
part of
been
this.
my pleasure. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I truly enjoyed this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, big kiss.
Mwah. That's us.
Out on Kindle, pay this woman's bills. She fucking deserves it. I don't know if you did it, but you just got a free fucking session for an hour and 5 minutes. And I felt that shit. Go buy it. Support her. Support this woman.
Thank
And
you. Ditto. Right back at you.
we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Damn, that was good. Damn, that was so good. Loved it. Bye, guys.